Well, hey, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Self-Publishing Titans tools. There is a whole plethora of tools on this platform, and Corin, the owner, is constantly adding more tools. He is a six-figure author on KDP. He's one of the more successful authors that I know. Him and his wife are some of the most consistent authors that I've met. And on top of being an author, he is also a programmer. So he has created tools that he uses in his business, and the ones that he has used successfully, he has now created them so that members of the KDP community can have access to these same tools that he uses in his business. So we're going to take some deep dives into some of these tools over the next few videos that I create, because I feel that they're really important for people. Now, he has many tools. As you can see, he has research tools, he has book creation tools, book listing tools, design tools, general KDP tools, and then he also has training. Some of his tools are free, the Chrome extensions, and some of his tools are paid. I think it's of value to understand that with the paid tools, some of them go on sale periodically, especially during Black Friday in November, around American Thanksgiving, and throughout the year he also does some other sales, like on Valentine's Day and different times of the year. If you're doing KDP successfully, at some point in time, while it's fun to be able to do it for free initially, if you're really going to grow this as a business, then you ultimately do need to invest in products that are going to help you. There's quite a number of products. A lot of people like to use products that do different kinds of research. Helium is one product I know that people like to use, and Cerebro is another one. But those products are not, they're made for Amazon sellers who sell products. Their tools are not created for KDP authors. So one of the reasons why I like Corin's tools is because he is a successful author, and he's creating tools that have helped his business become successful. So that's really kind of the difference between why I recommend these tools and I don't recommend using tools like Helium. Do you need these tools? They save you time. And ultimately, if you're building a business, being able to save time certainly translates into saving money. Having the best book titles, having your best book covers. You can outsource those things, so you're paying for an outsourcer, or you can do those things yourself and pay for the tools to do them yourself. And if the tools help you go faster, then you've saved that turnaround time versus hiring somebody for $25 to do it for you. You've now purchased a tool that you pay by the year or on a subscription. And if you're making a lot of books like I do, where I make several books a week, then over the course of time, trying to hire somebody, that just costs a lot of money. And so I'd rather have the tools in my arsenal so that I can wake up. If I have an idea, I can create the book right away versus create the book and have to go for an outsourcer, and then I have to wait for the turnaround time, and then 2 days later I might get something back. So this way I'm in full control of my business. I'm in full control of the tools that I use, and therefore I can work at a rapid pace. If I get an idea at 2 o'clock in the morning, I can jump up and execute that idea versus have to wait for something. And sometimes in this business, jumping on a trend or a niche can really be the big difference. Recently I jumped on a trend, and because I was one of the first to market in the trend, I made quite a bit of money because I was first to market before a lot of other people jumped on it. And there's actually quite a number of different book trends that happens in or with. So that's another big reason why I like using these kinds of tools and I'm willing to pay for them. So let's talk about these new author tools. There's a trademark checker, a guidelines checker, a title creation tool, a book description tool, a book listing translator, a book pricing tool, and a spelling checker. So with these new tools, you can protect your trademark. And that is one of the biggest issues that KDP authors have, is this trademark issue. They put all this effort into making a book only to find out, and they get a message from KDP that their book is in trademark violation. So this trademark checker saves you from that. Now you can go to tests and go and do that, but this goes very specifically into titles and it checks based upon what you write in there. So it's going to check your description and your title and a few other things, and I'll go a little bit deeper into this. I'm just going to give you an overview here. So we also have KDP Guidelines Checker, because within your description, within your title, there are also rules about what you can have and what you can't have, certain words and things like that, certain phrases. So this also checks to make sure you're not in violation of those. It helps create your book title, which is, I don't know about you, but that's one of the hardest things sometimes, to be able to come up with a new title. It creates the perfect book description, and it goes out and it looks at other books that are using your same title, and it will help put together a description that brings the best of all those books together. You can expand your reach with the book listing translator, meaning if you want to list your book in Germany or Japan, or if you're on Etsy, for instance, and you're listing and trying to attract different languages, this is perfect because it will help you translate your book title, your description, and things like that. And if you're making A+ content for your pages, then this is really valuable for you, because we know that Amazon translates your sales page for you. But if you're making your A+ content, you need to make it for each individual country that you're selling in. And so if you're selling in Spain, or if you're selling in Germany or Italy, then you're going to have to know what goes on your A+ content pages. And so this translator really can help with that information. Finding the price for your book is another big issue for a lot of new authors, especially, when you're in a marketplace where pricing can really be very tight margins. You have a 120-page coloring book, and you don't want to be the bottom of the market, and you also want to be competitive. So knowing where to price your book is of value. And making your book look professional. One of the biggest pet peeves I have is looking at book titles and book descriptions, and it's quite obvious that, sadly, while this person may be hugely talented and they can have beautiful pictures for their coloring book or for whatever, and they've made a beautiful cover, they unfortunately, English isn't their first language, and so they have misspellings in their title, misspellings in their subtitle, misspellings in or bad punctuation in their descriptions. And unfortunately, that's one big turnoff for buyers, is as soon as they see that there are spelling mistakes or spelling errors or context errors in those titles and subtitles, they're going to assume, sadly, that the rest of the book also might have mistakes in it, and so they end up not buying it. So this can really help fix those issues, especially if English is not your first language. So let's just take a look at a couple of these things close up and see how they function. First is the Trademark Checker, and I just went in and pre-populated some of these things to make this go a little bit faster for us. So Harry Potter coloring book for boys. Unfortunately, I see people doing trademark infringement so much on Amazon, on KDP, and that's basically how people lose their accounts because they just don't understand that they can't do Disney, they can't do Marvel Comics, they can't do the Hulk, they can't do Disney princesses, they can't do Harry Potter, even though they'd love to. They just can't. And so by putting in your title, you're going to make sure that you are not going to be infringing on somebody's trademark. You also have a link right here that takes you directly to the Amazon rules page so that you are kept abreast of what the Amazon rules are right at this time. So I put in a couple of words here. I put in Harry Potter coloring book for boys. A wonderful coloring book for boys with pictures from Harry Potter. So obviously Harry Potter keeps coming up as a problem. And here in the back end keywords, I have Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. So you can see that Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling are both being flagged because I can't use either one of those in my back end keywords. Now, this is where it gets confusing. When I'm running ads for my book, I can use Harry Potter and I can use J.K. Rowling. So when I'm running ads, I can use those and target people who are looking for those books. But when I'm using my back-end keywords or for my title, I cannot use the names of famous books or famous authors. So this is really going to help you if you've been having problems with violating trademark, because you only get a few strikes and Amazon closes you down. The Guidelines Checker, and again, we have a link that goes to KDP Guidelines. There are certain words and phrases that we are not allowed to put into our titles, into our descriptions, or into our back-end keywords. So this is going to help catch those, and they could be the same or different than what the trademark captures, because the Guidelines Checker, we're not allowed to use words like best-selling book. Or something that's on sale. So I put Batman Returns to Meet Cinderella coloring book. That would be a fun mashup, wouldn't it? Best-selling on sale for Christmas. So my violation here is best-selling, and the reference violation on sale for Christmas. So all of these things I can't have in this book title. Disney as the author name, obviously it's similar to somebody's name, so I can't use Disney in my last name or my first name, or Disney Collections or anything like that. Let's see. I can't ask people for reviews or say that I have reviews, and so this has flagged the fact that I use the word reviews in here, only if you're a famous person. You can't use your website in your A+ content or in your description. So I put a website in there, and you can't put contact information at all. In the back-end keywords, I have Batman, Cinderella, so I've violated like every single one. Every single one of these is a violation of my back-end keywords. So those are being flagged red. So this will really help you make sure that you are not in guideline violation. Something super simple that many people overlook because sometimes they slip up and get those words in their back-end keywords. When we're looking at our title creator, this is a really handy one. I really like this because sometimes building a title can be really challenging. So by just putting in what I'm looking for, trying to get a title, it will give me a whole bunch of different title ideas, and then I can actually build the title right here based upon putting in those keywords. It gives me the top 100 competitors on Amazon, what their titles are. It gives me 100 title inspirations. And then it gives me some more research suggestions. All of these are super handy. Plus, it also tells me what the top competitor title keywords are. So I want to make sure that I'm using some of these keywords in my title, like coloring book for kids. I can have cute pages in my subtitle, perhaps. if it's a unicorn book, for instance, or the words cozy, activity, bold designs, all those things are things that I can get in there, and then it will make sure and give me a ranking. So it's giving me all these wonderful ideas that I can use as inspiration, and then I can rewrite them. Super valuable for anybody, especially new authors that get stuck on what to title their books. The book description generator is another gold mine here. I put in what marketplace I'm going for. I put in my keyword, coloring book for girls. I put in the type of book, ebook, hardcover, or audiobook. I put in the size and the page count if it's a paperback or hardback. And then it will generate. I haven't written this at all. I just clicked the button and it wrote it for me. I didn't have to write it. I didn't have to go to ChatGPT. It did it for me. And it looks again at the top competitor description keywords, and it makes sure that those are populated, that there's a certain cross-section of these words in here. And then it basically does the HTML for me with the bolding. And then it tells me what my top 5 competitors' descriptions are, so I can take a look at what they've done. Like this one has added emojis, all right? And then I can put those emojis in mine as well. So it gives me an overview of what these other competitors are doing. And so if I want to make some changes to this one, I can before I upload it to KDP. This is a game changer. It writes it for me. It's perfect based upon my keywords. And unlike ChatGPT, which is just writing a generic one, this is going out and looking at the top 100 books for my keyword and then drawing from those books to make sure that I have the right things in mind. I know you have to probably make some changes to it a little bit. So here, this is a girl's dream coloring book. That's not the title, so you might have to make some changes. So you want to make sure you've read it. Here we go on this one, the book price suggestion tool. Once again, a game changer for a lot of people trying to figure out what to price. This is the most popular. This is the keyword I'm going for. It goes out and searches the top 100 books that are in my niche, and then it looks at the most popular pricing for independent published authors. All right? So it's getting rid of the other books. It's looking at people that are my competition. It's looking at the second most popular and then the third most popular. And then I can also look at some other pricing data. This is the lowest. This is the average. I normally price mine around the average. But look, I can go all the way to $11.69 and probably get away with pricing my book for that. So this is very helpful information for me, and I know for a lot of people struggle about what to price their books. Grammar and spell checker. Now, for somebody who doesn't speak English as a first language, this is so critical. I can't tell you how many times either somebody's got too many O's in book, or they use a Z instead of an S because they speak a different language. This will help identify issues that you have. And I only filled out a couple of the fields here. You have the title, your author name, especially if you're using a pen name. The book description, you can put the whole book description in here. You can put your A+ content text in here before you've populated your images, and your 7 backend keywords to make sure that there's no misspellings. A lot of people think that if you put misspelled keywords into your backend keywords, it will make a difference. It doesn't. Amazon does not look at misspelled keywords any longer. That's a urban legend from a long time ago. It doesn't do it anymore. And then last but not least, we have the book data translator, and this is a wonderful thing. As I mentioned, if you're trying to do A+ content especially, Amazon will generally on your sales page, they will translate your book page. But what if you're selling, want to sell a version on Etsy or something like that, then you want to know what these are in different languages so you can just copy and paste them. So if you're making your A+ content specifically for the other countries, for Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Holland, Portugal, or in Japan, then it will do that translation for you. Now we know that there might be a little bit of issues with Google Translate. That's probably what this is using. But most of these titles and phrases are very simple. They're for, they're really not more than a grade level 3 or 4. And so there isn't a whole lot of things that it can get wrong. So I wouldn't worry too much about perfect one-to-one translation in most cases. You can always double check it somewhere else. But like I said, Corin made these. He uses them himself, so I'm sure that he's done the double checking for us. So just to wrap it up, I have a link down below in my description to take you to this page so that you can take a look at it yourself and take a look at these tools, and you can play with them. You do need to log in to access them, but you can look at the descriptions of what they are. And if you're interested in purchasing them for yourself, then there's you can just click the buy now button and grab them. I believe, again, Black Friday there's sales, Valentine's Day there's sales, his birthday he has a sale. So these are well worth, and he normally has these all bundled up into one big bundle, and then you purchase them that way. Normally it's a one-time purchase for these tools, not a subscription. So just keep an eye out for what they are. Like I said, at some point in time, investing in your business is well worth the price to do that, especially if you have struggled or have had problems in any of these areas. Then having these tools certainly makes sense for you. You don't want to wake up and have your account gone because of trademark violations or guideline violations, or for misspelling and poor customer experience. So thanks for checking these out. Let me know which tools you use and which ones you like below. I'd be happy to know how you use them in your business.